Welcome back to the Men's Roundtable Series podcast. We got a lot to talk about. But how you guys doing, man? Good to have you guys tuning in. If you're watching us or listening for the very first time, thanks for making us part of your week. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And of course, you can find our shows across all listening platforms, audio and visual, and of course on social media. Well, how you guys doing today? We're back for another rousing Thursday evening, man. You guys good? Everybody all right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Good.
Everybody been good.
Yeah.
Mental health. We doing
good.
We're doing good here between the ears. I love it, man. Good to see you guys, man. I'm excited about the conversation. Just full disclosure, probably gonna be here for probably 2 months or so. I mean, this topic got so much legs to it, man. We just been rolling since last week, so here we are. Continue to keep it going, man. But so far, since we started this new series, any takeaways, any thoughts? I always want to ask you guys that so we can get reflective, and then after we're done with that, we'll get into the discussion. What you thinking? Too much pause. Too much pause.
Too much pause, man. Man, I just find it interesting because like in our church community, we started a sermon series and we're talking a lot about this. And then it came the Sunday after we started this. So this past Sunday they started it. I find it interesting, man. It's a much needed topic of discussion, right? It's not often talked about. Silence is strength, as some might believe, right? So I'm just blessed by it, man. I love the discussions that we have because if I wasn't paying attention to it before, I am now.
Same here. Anybody else?
It's just a good place for us to come in and be vulnerable and share some things about our lived experiences, and hope it inspires somebody to do things differently or not run in the same ditches that we did because we bumped our heads and we don't want nobody else to bump theirs, just by us sharing our lived experiences and being vulnerable and safe in this space, to have these kind of complex conversations.
I think most importantly, man, the key thing is this show brings self-awareness, man. And a lot of times, we try to keep those things bottled up, but every episode, it allows men the opportunity to open up and become more self-aware of the things that they're dealing with.
Yeah, man. This is a blessing. I'm gonna keep on talking about it. It might sound repetitive a little bit, but I don't really care. This is really awesome what's taking place right now. Because I don't know where y'all come from, but I mean, it could be my former geography, could be coming from New York. Maybe it's that, maybe it's just the era that I come from. But men weren't doing this, man.
No.
Before podcasts, matter of fact, they weren't doing it when radio was a thing. It was just not happening. No. It was nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, it was frowned upon to even consider doing half of the things that we do on this show alone. Not including you guys' own content, what you do on your own social media timeline. Despite that part, this one little small sample size of this podcast, it was not happening. I'm hearing from men everywhere at this point, even in the UK, man, in Australia, Africa. They resonate with what we talk about and how free it is. They're like, wow, I can get out of this prison I'm in and have real freedom.
Yeah.
So you guys are making a difference. When you use the word vulnerable 3 times in a sentence, it tells you something. It means something. We don't use that word. We don't talk about it. We never felt comfortable even going that route. But we do that on this show, man. And you guys are a huge part of it. So I thank you, man, for being part of the conversation and continue to take this where it needs to go, even into you guys' own sphere of influence, man. You guys are doing great things with your own groups and connections and stuff. It's powerful, man. So thank you for doing this. All right. Any other thoughts that I missed before we keep the train moving? All right. Let's get into it. So we got a few core themes I want to throw out to you guys. We got 3 of them. Chronic stress. If you want, you can put it in the comment section. You guys can help me out. Chronic stress, burnout, invisible overload. Some folks might say all 3. We might have to have a talk. But chronic stress, burnout, invisible overload. Out of those 3 core themes that will be kind of bouncing between tonight, which of those are the ones that you should notice the most, or you feel the most in this season of your life right now? The chronic stress part, the burnout, or invisible overload? If you say none, I ain't gonna judge it, but I will be a little bit surprised if you don't feel anything because of the magnitude of what you guys do. You guys don't just work; you got families, and you got missions that you do outside of your regular job. Things you're doing for online communities and things of that nature, helping young people and things like that. So you got things you're doing. But out of those three, chronic stress, burnout, and invisible overload, which is the one that kind of been in your face a little bit lately?
Yeah, I say for me, I gotta pay attention to make sure I don't get burnt out. I got so many things that I'm trying to tap into, and a lot of it's happening all at once. You know, many doors and opportunities are open and things like that. And I gotta pay close attention that I don't run out of gas. So I think that's what I've been kind of wrestling with here lately.
I love this. Check out coming from my guy, Travis Murray. Fantastic brother. We had an interview recently, and he had an incredible podcast, Man in Progress, Forging Manhood. So he's talking about what we're talking about. We're aligned with the vision. Might be seeing him a lot more soon. I'm excited about that. His answer, just like yours, Steve, burnout. It's a real thing for us, man. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah. I know for the last, the second 8 weeks of the semester, man, I was burnt.
I felt it coming through the screen.
Yeah. I took an overload class. So I had 120 students in 8 weeks. You know, you're trying to pack in as much information as you can.
Goodness.
Had the book coming, the Born to Risk Veterans book coming out, promoting the Educator's Rise series book that's coming out.
Congrats again. Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know,
that man about to leave us, y'all. He about to leave us.
No. If I'm one thing, I'm loyal, you know, and I've learned how to establish boundaries to keep myself from taking on too many things. And I talked about this the last time I was on, was learning how to say no.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, burnout was, I was feeling it. So I concur with the commenter.
Yeah, burnout is this was a poll. Burnout is killing it right now. I don't know what DL gonna say.
I'm gonna say this. I'm very aware of burnout. So not to say that it's not an issue with me, but I'm so aware of it that it's the lesser of the three, right? Invisible overload though is where I'm at, man, because I form my schedule work-wise and all that in a way that I feel as though I won't get burnt out because I'm aware of it, right? But I still find myself overwhelmed with tasks at times. I still find myself like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here, right? And I don't realize it because on the surface, it looks like it's, with work, it's 1 to 3 clients a day, right? Not much. It's ministry and prayer. About an hour or two in the day, right? When it comes to our prayer rooms and stuff. So it's not a whole lot if you look at the items on the list, but man, somewhere in there, I find myself weighed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even see it, man. I mean, I guess that's the part that kind of makes the invisible overload ones, for lack of a better word. I can't find a better word. It's been a long day, guys. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
because you can't see it.
Kind of like that.
You walk to a place and there's a gas leak. I mean, if it's the kind of gas you can't smell, you walking around like, wow, my head hurting, and before you know it, you overcome. You can't even tell. That's kind of how that is, man. So it's invisible. You can't even tell that you're doing too much.
Yeah,
until you're sitting there clutching your chest on the ground with EMTs around you. You know what? Maybe I was doing too much. It's too late to find that kind of stuff out. So no, that's good. How do we avoid the invisible overload, man? Because we're talking about the pressure that nobody sees, especially in men. How do you avoid the invisible overload when you can't see it?
I think DL said it, the self-reflection.
Yeah. Like you see it after the fact, right? And then you just become aware of those little things, right? Little nuances, little actions, little, factors in the environment, whatever it is, right? But it's invisible. So you can't see it. It's like one of those things like Steve was just saying, right? And I rudely cut him off. Hindsight's 20/20, man. I know that for me, in the way that I operate in my life now, not to say that it's perfect, not to say that it doesn't have its challenges, but it has less challenges because of the past years of experience of, now I see the track record of where certain things overload me, where I get overwhelmed, where I trip up, where I, any of those types of things. So for me, it's hindsight, man. I look back and then I see where that invisible overload was, right? And then I do my best to be prepared for it the next time. Doesn't always happen. It still occurs on maybe a weekly or a monthly basis, not every day. I'm trying to get it to where it's, maybe once a year I can get overloaded. If I could do that, I'm winning, but that
sounds pretty reasonable.
To tie into what Dale was saying, talking about that silent killer, like hypertension, diabetes, heart disease. People don't know they have it until, like you said, you're looking up and the EMT's over you, because if you don't get regular blood tests, regular physicals, making sure you stand under the care of a doctor, you could go a long time with symptoms that are untreated, and next thing you're falling off a cliff, because heart disease is the silent killer amongst men. And I think the invisible overload can be that same way if we don't monitor how we're feeling, how much we're taking on, do some self-reflection to ask yourself, okay, let's do a reset every couple of days just to make sure I'm staying within my boundaries. So
copy that. We got a poll question on the screen for you guys that are watching and listening. How do you avoid the invisible overload when you can really see it beforehand? Drop your comments and questions in the chat. We'll speak to those as soon as they come in. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was gonna say, man, thanks for the reminder, man. I'll be transparent here. I've been going so hard the past couple of years. Realized this week I ain't been to the doctor in 2 years, man.
No.
2 years. So you're spot on with that, man, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would tell you, man, when I was on active duty, most active duty folks avoid going to sick call or going to see the doctor like the plague. Stephen, we just don't want to do it because you don't want to get labeled as the sick bay commando, since retiring and over the last 6+ years, man, if I got an ache, I go.
Yeah.
I tell somebody something because I don't want something to be lingering. And then the next thing a preventable diagnosis, early detection is the key to saving lives. Yeah. The earlier I could get this thing diagnosed and treated, instead of holding it within and saying, it'll be all right, it's just a little ache. Now I'm like, no, I'm gonna let a professional tell me it's all right or this is what it is. So yeah, Stephen, you, DL, get your regular checkups, bro. Get your blood work done. Monitor your blood sugar, your cholesterol. It's important, man. It can save lives. And anybody out there listening, especially men, because men have this arrogance and this ego about not being vulnerable with medical professionals. And those folks are there really to assist us and help us. So it is wise to stay up under the care of a doctor for physical health and mental health, because I know that's the direction of our conversation this evening.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we dropped, well, I don't know if we posted it yet, but we're just thinking about a question. At what point does being strong actually become self-destruction?
Oh, man.
I think nobody here wants to not only be around that, but you don't want to be considered somebody that's a weak man. Those are the kind of, those two words don't go together. I don't know any time where you can put them together and it's good. I've never heard it. I mean, it's not a good superhero. I'm weak man. It's not going to work out, right? So it's like, so the antithesis is that antithesis. I can say the word. It's a long day. But the opposite of that is to be a strong man. So we overemphasize strong, strength, look, physique, demeanor, voice, and we overemphasize that so much. It's like, but so many things that are just being lost in the exchange of trying to look and be strong while covering all the things that we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I want the viewers to jump in if you guys are watching the list. If you're still with it, you haven't left us, right? You're out here watching repeated NCIS, right? You guys are watching this, right? So if you're here, jump on that question real quick. At what point does being strong actually become self-destruction? You guys can jump into it if you have any thoughts about it. I'll leave it up on the screen for those people who are watching. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the moment that man becomes silent, that's when he's at the point of self-destruction, in terms of just the things he's dealing with. Not getting rest, silent suffering, things like that. That's when I feel like you're at the point of self-destruction.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's good. What else?
Yeah, that's real, man. I'm going to say when it's rooted in self, when strength is rooted in self, that's when it becomes self-destructive, right? Y'all know I love my Jesus. I love my word, man. And the word tells me that his strength is made perfect in my weakness.
No doubt.
Right. So when I'm not willing to admit that I'm weak, when I'm not willing to accept help, when I'm like, okay, I'm going to muscle through this, right? That's when I'm on the road to destruction, right? Pride come before destruction every time.
Yeah.
Right. So when it's rooted in pride and self and all that, you already know where it's going. There's only one destination.
Yeah, no doubt.
Down. Pride.
DOWN down. Makes sense, man. Who else?
Yeah, I concur.
All right.
And I this is while you're thinking, think being vulnerable, and I might say that word 10 to 20 more times in this conversation, because it takes a strong person to admit where their shortcomings are. Lower your ego, get out of your own way and acknowledge that you have some faults. And being vulnerable with the right people, let them know I'm not feeling right. I'm hurting. I'm stressed out. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. It takes a certain amount of strength to openly admit that to people. And it was something I didn't do a good job of for a number of years, in particular with my spouse, and not letting my spouse know what I was dealing with and going through and how I was feeling. And I was suffering in silence, and I was dealing with all these things internally and thinking I had to be not putting up a facade of being strong, because I know that I'm strong, but I didn't have to fight this fight by myself. And I have a great partner here with me who is very smart and intelligent, and she can help me navigate these spaces. But it took outside therapy to help me do some deep self-reflection to say, it's okay that you're stressed and tired and burned out. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of that's because we're taught to be Superman. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. I dealt with the same thing.
Cartoons, man. We grew up on those cartoons.
I dealt with the same thing for a lot of years with my wife. She would constantly do check-ins and things like that, and I'd be tore up on the inside. But my go-to response is, "I'm good. I'm okay." Yep. You know what I mean? Knowing full and well I'm not. So yep. It took me a long time to realize that she's just checking in, man, and it's okay to open up. So she's your helpmate. So
that's right.
I love that. Travis got a comment up here that says being strong leads to self-destruction when you get overconfident or you think you can power through. You got that right, sir. The queen checks it on me like that pretty often. I'm saying, you know what, girl, I'm dealing. I'm dealing.
Yeah.
I'm in the cabeza today. It's rough in here.
Yeah. And DL mentioned the spiritual aspect of it. And I do go to the Lord, and I ask God for guidance, and I talk to God but we need physical people here in the flesh to help us, in real time. It's a combination. We can't just be so blinded in our faith that we are relying so much on God to answer these things. And God puts people in your life to be that literal.
That part.
Yeah.
That, man, that is one of the more enlightening parts of my growth and development, is acknowledging I do believe and I do have faith, but I need somebody physically here in the flesh. And what God revealed to me is, I already gave you that. She's sitting right there and you ain't using her.
Yeah.
No. But the key to that though is, oh my bad, go ahead. I was gonna say the key to that though too is we gotta be willing to receive what God has placed in our lives too though.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're so closed off, man. We don't trust people, and that might be your blessing sitting right there. So that's the key part of that. It's twofold.
Yeah. I agree with that, man. The tension between that. Sorry, you. The tension between I've been hurt before, so I'm guarded and I don't want to trust people, and then saying, God, I need your help, and then realizing that the people that you're unwilling to trust might be trustworthy because God put them there for you, right? It's an interesting thing because you hit that on the head. The whole time you guys were talking, I was just sitting here thinking, trust, man. Like trust is if you can learn to trust in a certain way, right, it makes it easier for you to be able to walk through those things. But if you're closed off and it's just like, God, I need your help, and then you're not seeing, because you have an expectation of how he's going to answer you, right? Then you're not seeing that, like right here, us four right here, right? For the purposes of this conversation, we're here to help each other. Yeah. We didn't know this. We didn't know this. This was his plan, right? Like, I trusted you to jump in here and be a big brother to me, and now I'm here, right? Same thing with y'all, right? Trust him to be family, to be who he is. Yeah. And I think that's a huge part of what's going maybe wrong. I don't like to say that because it sounds condemning, but what's going wrong, especially when it comes to men, right? Like that strength, superheroes. I like what you said earlier, though. I'm weak, man. Like, but I used to tell my little brother growing up, because we were raised very much the same way, right? And I would tell him, you're Superman until you're not, right? And it wasn't until I hit my 30s that I decided I'm willingly not going to be Superman, because man, that is overrated. I'm not leaping any tall buildings. I'm not flying high in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it took a long time and a lot of reflection, a lot of mistakes, a lot of trying to be Superman just to live up to this little saying that I came up with, right? Based off of how I was raised, based off society, other men. So yeah, it's that trust part though, man, and being able to see the community, right? God said he knows it's not good for man to be lonely, right?
Yeah.
Like community is huge. It's part of what we're here for.
Can I ask you guys a question? Just piggytailing off of that. Do you guys think? No, it is actually. Do you think the manosphere, or this concept of the manosphere, plays into that masculine, toxic type behavior where men have to walk around and pretend that they got everything figured out? It's just my observation. I hear a lot about the manosphere, and men need to take back this and put women in their place, and men, I'm like,
well,
how healthy or productive is that?
I'll be honest, and I don't mean it to sound like it's bragging, because it really is not bragging. Please forgive me if it sounds that way. But Tuesday through Thursdays, it's early morning till night interviewing people. So sometime today, there was an interview about this. I just don't remember which one, so forgive me. It was sometime today. But it was talking about that, and the gentleman was saying that there's no reason why men and women can coexist and I guess be great in what they do. It doesn't have to be, us better than you, or because you have something that means I don't have. It's not. It doesn't have to be that. We can both have. I mean, DL proved that with the Adam and Eve note that he just gave out of scripture about it's not good for man to be alone. There's a point to that, because that means that individually you're still whole, and together you're still whole. Yeah. It's God's math. So there's no reason why you can't be, who you are without having to diminish your bride, and vice versa. There's no need for it. So I don't know where that comes from. Well, I kind of think I do know where it comes from. It comes straight out of the pit. Let's be real about it. But it's not a godly kingdom mindset. Let's just put it like that. It's a division creator. Is really all it is. There's no need to. So that stuff does come from somewhere. We do see it, Steve. It's out there, but it's not anything we need to be following. Sorry to jump in, but you can keep going, or somebody else can jump in. Go ahead.
I didn't know you had that conversation earlier, but since we were going down that thread, I had noticed, and I read a lot, and I do a lot of people watching and observing, and I know that there are spaces in the social media streets and on YouTube and all these social media platforms, and young men are attracted to these men who preach aggrievement, that men are somehow being aggrieved because women got an opportunity to do A, B, C, or D. And they are attracted to that type of toxic male behavior. And that's why I asked the question.
Wow.
They're attracted to that? Wow. I don't even know where to go with that. Wow. Okay. Well, there's a lot of meat on the bone for what we're talking about today. We already touched on a good bit of it. We talked about in the past, I think it was a couple of series ago, that burnout hides behind productivity. So we discussed that. Maybe we won't beat that one up too much more today. We can keep moving forward. Let's kind of go into the realm of emotional processing. I really feel like, first off, we have so many things that are layers that men deal with. Not all fault. It's usually taught or passed on generationally. But one of the big things that we talk about many times is, men can't show their emotions, or XYZ is going to happen if we do that. So because of those false narratives, we hold it in, but we don't deal with anything. We just hold it in and put stuff on top of it. We put work and obligation and distractions and the hobbies, et cetera, on top of it. And it just stays buried under all that stuff. It's not being dealt with. It's not being decompressed, if you will. I'm just kind of compartmentalizing it and moving on to other things and adding more stuff on top. And it's like we're not solving anything. So on a scale of 1 to 10 for you guys on the panel and those that are watching and listening that are brave enough to be in that chat, don't be scared. We ain't gonna bite you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say you'd rate your level of emotional processing, if you will? On a scale of 10 being the best, of course, 1 being really, really bad.
I would say probably 5 years or more. It was probably if 10 was not handling it well, I was probably at a 9. Wow. As far as handling my emotions. I wasn't the best at it, man, to be honest. I spent so many years holding things in, and you best believe when you do that, it's going to transform into something else. It's going to come out, whether it be anger, whether you're detached or isolated, whether you're spiritually disconnected, whatever the case may be. Suppressing your emotions will show up in some other fashion. Now, I'm good. I'm telling the world, this is how I feel. I need help. That's right. I'm shouting to anybody that want to listen, man.
Yeah. Let's talk okay, go ahead.
At the end of the day, I'm here to help somebody else. Everything that I've been through, trial and tribulation wise, is to help somebody else potentially prevent the same mistakes I've made.
Something that DL said earlier, I want to let it slide because I feel like we have to continue to say this every episode because different people are jumping in. We got new folks that are on tonight that never been here. They don't know the culture. They don't know all we talk about. Something that DL said was so important about trusting what we have right here. It's a big deal, man. I ain't saying put it before your spouse. That's not what we're talking about. I'm not even saying put it before God, because your spouse shouldn't be before him. What I'm talking about is that we have an opportunity here. And, I even asked this out loud. I said, do we understand that? Do we understand what we have here? For the panelists that may keep us on replay later on this week or next week, or the ones that are listening now but not chatting or commenting, do we understand what we have here in this? Because like I said earlier, this is really rare.
Yeah.
I interviewed several men today, maybe this week total. A lot of men. Some men who want to be on the panel, some men that just want to just be a fly on the wall and just watch what we're doing because they said they'd never seen this before.
Yeah.
It's rare. Yeah. And I'm like, I mean this in the nicest non-harsh Brooklyn way. We be fools to overlook what we got with this. And not take full advantage of it. Because I don't want to hear nothing about something happens and then we start trying to rally.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to derail us, man. Don't let me derail the show. I'm just putting it out here for us to think about. Do we reckon what we got with this?
I think that's
can we trust each other for real? Like, can you feel comfortable? You know what? 3 a.m. call, 3 a.m. text. I need somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Stephen, I know, with us both being military vets and that brotherhood and sense of camaraderie that we experience wearing the uniform, leaving active duty and now doing what I'm doing now, I still have that yearning for the brotherhood. Yeah. And I know in this veterans book that myself and Stephen are co-authors in, it lit that match of camaraderie and brotherhood and sisterhood again, because now I'm constantly communicating with all of these people that I've met over the course of 23 years, and it's reigniting that spark. And now these kind of emotionally vulnerable conversations can take place with people I have known and I feel that sense of brotherhood with. That's why I keep coming back and participating on this show, is for the brotherhood. Yeah. So I recognize it, and I really want to just pat you on the back, you, for putting this together and continuing to put, new voices into the conversation, because it does create a sense of community where guys can come and listen to stories like ours. I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
1000% agreed.
Anybody else?
Yeah, man. Definitely recognize it. Definitely, man. Hats off to you, brother, every time. Right? Like, you've created not just a platform for a listener to gain some sound advice through lived experience, but you've created an arena for us as panelists, right, to be iron sharpening iron, as well as the listener. But like, I look at this right here, when I listen, I gain, right, when I'm not on the panel, but when I'm here and I can actively participate in the conversation, right, like there's a real sharpening that happens, and I see it and I feel it, and man, I don't take that lightly at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So part of this too, though, man, is, I went out and started my own brotherhood because of this. There was a reason. That was part of the reason why I started. It's called the Seam Brotherhood, and it's still forming. And what I've noticed is a lot of men, they don't comment, but at the same time, if I ran into some of these men and they were like, man, when we gonna get together for this brotherhood? So I can just see things starting to ignite based on us coming on this show and what we're taking from this and going back individually in our own communities and things like that. So I definitely realize what we got here and very appreciative.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I have told groups of guys within the last 6 months, I love them more than I ever have in my life.
Yeah.
And I feel so relieved that I can look a brother in the eye or talk to a brother on the phone and tell him, dude, I love you.
Yeah.
And I don't feel no kind of way. Like it don't make me feel less masculine and none of that stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Because that's genuinely how I feel about these guys. And it took a number of years for me to get over the hump of expressing emotionally to these guys how much they mean to me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. This is pretty special, man. I got somebody to screen for you guys that are watching or listening but not watching. Excuse me. According to the American Psychological Association, men are significantly less likely than women to seek emotional mental health support.
Yeah, despite reporting high levels of stress and pressure.
Wow.
Why? Why is the question?
When I see that kind of stuff, I don't even know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
And was I always 100% open, transparent? Oh, of course not. You grew up in New York City. You learn to shut down, swallow that stuff up, and be quiet and mind your own business until you get shot. That's how I grew up. Of course, I didn't do that. But when I see those kind of stats, I saw something else, another stat. I don't have it, but it was showing like how much different it was, like in numbers, and I'm like, it can't be like 2-3 times more than it. Is that possible? In 2026?
I have an answer. I don't know if it's the right answer.
I have no
women are smarter than us. That's it. Women are smarter and more in touch with their emotions than we are.
Yeah.
And that might be controversial and it may hurt some guys' feelings. But
I just want to understand.
If according to, I didn't say it, the APA.
This is kind of trap I was talking about, because I would say, when you say smarter, what do you mean? Now I'm going to look bad in front of people. See,
the APA said men are significantly less likely than women to seek emotional or mental health support, meaning women seek emotional and mental health support, and we don't. The answer is in the question or the statement. I think so.
Think about it, man. You know, we were always taught not to fail, man.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, we don't.
That's what it is. That's what it is, man. It's men they're afraid of failure, man, and that's why we don't ask for help. That's just the bottom line. And it's not right. You know, it's not the right thing to do, but just based on how most of us were raised or the things we've been around, failure was not an option for a lot of us.
I know we better go to rails now. I'm going back to conversations. I won't mention who said what, because that's not fair. I won't do that. But we've heard conversations from people in the chat, people who are jumping in, who were on the panel for the first time, and we never seen them again, or people who were on there more frequently. You know, the thing that bothers me is not that you learn that behavior and you're starting to reevaluate it, but what bothers me when people are not trying to evaluate it, and they're saying that this is what I've been doing for 30 years, 40 years, 60 years, and yeah, I'm not changing that. That's what bothers me.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, when you tell me that you love God and you trust God, so we can get real deep and crazy up your head tonight. You tell me you love God and you trust God. You're trying to tell me that anything He says you're gonna do. Well, what you're telling me is that you got restrictions on everybody, God included. This thing that God said you won't do. This thing that your spouse suggests you will not listen to. The things your friends and brothers are seeing as warning signs and red flags, and you are not going to change nothing.
Yeah.
What's the end of that kind of man?
DL said it earlier.
What's going to happen?
Say it again, DL.
Kind of like pride. The Bible says pride go before destruction and a haughty spirit before the fall.
Before the fall.
Having bad times, that stuff is permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what bothers me. I'm like, it don't matter if you learn bad stuff. I learn bad stuff too. Passed down, generational tomfoolery and nonsense. But I ain't trying to say that. When it's very identified, which is something that you guys were talking about earlier, once we identify, you know what? This is the problem. Now that you see that, what you going to do about it? This show has identified a whole bunch of male problems.
Yeah.
You can't say you don't see it. What you're telling us is, I don't care that I see it. Yeah. I'm going to keep it the way it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared to do anything else different that resembles change.
Bro, I would tell you one of the hardest things for me to do was acknowledge that I was the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was me. And once I realized it was me, if I wanted things to get better, I needed to be willing to change if I valued my relationship. And Travis they are smarter. I just asked my wife, and I bet you if either one of us,
come on, y'all, don't do this.
If any one of us in here go ask our spouse,
don't do this.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say when you said women are smarter, I was like, man, my wife.
What does that mean? Come on, y'all. What's that mean?
You're proving the point right now, you.
That's right.
So what does that mean? They know what it means.
I don't think women have had the problem of being vulnerable around other sisters. Okay. Because they have more sisters that they could talk to and girls' night out and they can relate and do this and that. And here we are. I'll sit on the couch and watch the game in silence and suffer.
Yeah.
And women are just in my observation, are more in touch with their emotions and more willing to go get help than we are.
I'm here with you. We're talking about emotional intelligence then.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. But when you say that as a gender, they are smarter than the other gender, I need you to give me some help.
Okay.
That's not emotional intelligence. You're talking about schooling now. You're talking about intellect. You're talking about education. You're talking about street smarts, book smarts. You're talking about a whole bunch of different stuff when you say that. That's why I'm like, I don't talk in absolutes. That's why. I'm cringing right now. I don't talk in absolutes about nothing. I ain't say I'm never gonna do that ever again. I won't do that.
Okay. So smart. Thank you for the correction.
So the word smart is like, what are we saying?
Emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
Emotionally intelligent than we are.
We own that. That's a fact.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I can have clubs and talk to 8 different people, girlfriends, and do it easy, and we struggle to call one man.
Yeah.
I give them props for that.
So when I say smarter, meaning smarter and being more in touch with their emotional intelligence than we are, not IQ, EQ.
EQ. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we got a higher IQ either. I'm saying I don't think IQ. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So don't come at me. You ain't gonna win. That's not what I said. All right, so we good. So from an emotional process standpoint, because that's something that I don't know what the journey looks like for a man who's trying to figure that kind of stuff out. I'm pretty sure it's not a short trip. It's gonna take a minute to deal with that kind of stuff. Because we've been neglecting emotional stuff, as we just pointed out just now, for centuries.
Yeah.
And we've been told that it was okay. So we feel irritability, we feel loss of patience, our motivation goes down, our sleep is not strong, we're not in REM sleep. Relationships are available, but we withdraw from it when we have opportunity to do that because we don't want to. This man, and I don't know if they're listening right now, maybe not, but this man that we have withdrawn from this conversation because this emotional stuff has been stirred up on this show and in the conversations since last summer that they don't want to deal with. I got men I've asked, you know what? You were on the panel one time. What happened? We didn't see you come back. And they start stuttering and whatnot. Like, they don't know why they haven't been back. It's not their schedule. They've been asked. I want to take the load off you guys so you guys can do other things. I want people to rotate. I want everybody to rotate out so nobody feels burdened by being here every Thursday. I don't want nobody to be a regular. I'm putting out this Senate right now. I don't want nobody to be a regular panelist but me. I can't rotate myself out. But I want y'all to have space to do what you got to do with your families and still be able to tune in or whatever. If you got to get the car washed, you want to listen to the show, whatever. These guys that don't come back and they don't have a good reason why. They felt the emotional push or whatever, and they got scared and just backed off. And we do that in relationships and with all when we have issues with processing emotionally. You agree with that? Did that sound like something you can relate to?
I would say it's okay for us to have emotions and be emotional and talk about them. But then what's next? What do you do with those emotions? What decisions are you going to make when you're at the height of your emotions that's going to make the difference, right? DL's testimony is a prime example of short-term fix, making an emotionally not intelligent decision, having long-term ramifications. Yeah. And when we talk to especially young brothers, letting them know it's okay that you're angry, you're upset, you're pissed off. Now what? What are you going to do in the moment when you're feeling like that? That is going to have a short base, temporary feel-good solution, and you can act out with those emotions, or you could sit, think, and process, what am I going to do with my next step? Because if I make the wrong decision in the moment, it might be 20, 25, 30 years before I get a chance to rectify that short-term sense of gratification that I felt in the moment because I did not have control of my emotions. And I think having these kind of conversations to let young brothers know it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to let people know how you feel. And DL, am I on board, or am I on the right track in regards to your experience and how it ties into making emotional decisions or emotional intelligence?
Oh, 100%, 100%, right? Talking to that young man out there, right? One moment, the wrong emotional reaction, right, without having processed, without being aware and understanding, leads to all type of bad things, right? It led me to prison, right? I had to sit down behind that. And I'm glad I did, because it gave me the opportunity to really reflect, right? For a moment of consecration, if you will, right? Where, like how David said, right? Lord, search my heart, know my thoughts, right? Show me this mirror. Like, what am I doing wrong here? What do I need to correct? But that takes time, man. And I think, to your point, right? It is okay if you are out there thinking that it's not okay to have emotions. Like, I'm not making fun of you. I'm not condemning you. I'm just going to tell you, you could be wrong.
Yeah.
You could be wrong. You also could be right, but you also could be wrong. Like, so I don't want to anyone out there that listens to this not feel like this is a place where they're welcomed, where, we're not condemning anybody here. Yeah. Right. But it is absolutely okay. We were given emotions for a reason. Right. And I think the term reactive, right? I think when I think about reacting emotionally, I think of like a nuclear reactor. Right. And what is that? What does that do? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do anything. It's not a refiner. Right. And that's the point of processing emotion, right? Is you're going through that refinement. Once you can finally process them in a healthy way, right? Relationships are better. Day-to-day interactions are better, right? Even your self-image gets better, right? Because then it's okay to not be okay. And I think that part of it is huge, right? It's usually put your head down and work hard, keep your mouth shut, just get it done. It's that old, don't talk about it, be about it. Nah, when it comes to emotions, man, we want you to talk about it. We want you to talk about it, right? Women had the leg up because, think about this, known historically as the weaker sex, they had to seek advantage. They had to seek additional support, right? We were supposed to be strong. right? We're the stronger sex. So we don't have to do that is what we're conditioned to think, right? Nah, we can figure this out. We're men, right? Women, man, not to say they had it easy, but they were smart in embracing that and saying, okay, if we're the weaker sex, then we're going to create community, right? We're going to seek help. We're going to learn how to process this with other people. We're not going to do this solo, right? And so I think to that end, man, women are smarter. To that end, let me circle back to that. Women are smarter, man, because they were able to embrace with humility a label that doesn't necessarily belong to them, right? And they found a way to turn that around. And so, again, speak on them emotions. Young man out there who's listening, speak on them, man. There is at least one person in your circle, at least one person who can be trusted with your secrets, who can be trusted with your weaknesses, who can be trusted to help you, to support you. Shoot, there might even be somebody who can be trusted to just listen, right? Yeah. Listening ears, man.
Yeah.
Got it. We got a comment from a friend of the show. Been a panelist on here many times. What's up, Lee? Good to see you, brother. We miss you, man. His question is, what is the value of feeling your emotions? Is there a difference between feeling and reacting to them? Anybody can jump in on that real quick. And I'll drop the other question that we had.
Yeah, I thought we just answered that question.
Yeah.
We may have. It just came like 3 minutes ago. I don't know how long it was sitting there, but yeah, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we've all kind of said it. You know, we got to stop treating emotions like it's a weakness instead of a strength. You know, I think that's key. And then normalizing the conversation, especially when it comes to like young men or young people in general.
Yeah.
When they start seeing normal conversations like this, they're more than likely will adapt to it. But for a lot of them, they just don't see it every day. But this is a great opportunity to this show where men are literally being vulnerable. We're normalizing those conversations that will hopefully help somebody.
That's right.
Yeah, sure. Good stuff. Who else?
Yeah.
If there's nothing else, we can go ahead and jump on that question sitting up there right now. What emotions were safe or unsafe in your early environment?
I say for me, there was no safe space to be emotional.
Wow.
It just wasn't.
No.
You know, I had significant loss at an early age, man. I had step parents on both sides that couldn't stand me as a young man. Wow. So imagine being where you almost felt like you wasn't welcome in your own home and having that bottled up for so many years. And I was so angry as a youngster, man. It was bad. And it showed up. And it showed up at people that I loved or people that didn't deserve it. So for me, back in the day, it just wasn't safe, but I understand it now. I have to be able to express myself. Otherwise, it's going to come out in another way, and usually not the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Steve. Anybody else?
Steve?
I don't have the same lived experience as Stephen does, but there was just certain things that were not tolerated from young black boys. It just wasn't. You can't show it. You can't have feelings. Almost conditioning us to be robots. Yeah. And then when the pressure builds up so much, and then a young man makes an impulsive decision, then he's blamed for the decision that he made, but nobody talked about all the factors that played into why he made that decision. And a lot of times it boiled down to they didn't have a space to talk to nobody about how they were feeling because people told them to shut up and keep going. Nobody cared. Stop crying.
Right.
You know, get over it. That's the kind of toxic language that I heard and I saw. Fortunately, I didn't necessarily get that from my parents, but it was still a lot of one-way conversations and a lot of compliance.
Wow.
you know. And I don't fault my parents for parenting the way they did, because it helped me develop into the person that I am. But what I tried to let those deficiencies that I saw in their parenting style was not to repeat that same cycle with my kids. And it has taken a long time for me to be vulnerable in my emotions and sharing my emotions with my kids. My kids know I love them, but my kids don't know how some of the things that they do impact my emotions. And it took my emotionally intelligent spouse to tell me, why can't you tell the girls what you just told me? I'm like, I don't know. I just hadn't said it, you know? So that would be my answer to the question about safe and unsafe. Now I'm trying to teach young men in particular, it is safe to be not okay. It is safe to tell another brother, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being in my life. That kind of stuff, I believe, is as contagious as negativity is.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And we talked about the emotion thing a few times, right? As a young man, it was always angry or happy. Those were safe in my early environment because that's what I saw, right? Like when my parents would get into it, like there was a lot of rage in the room, right? So that was the example that was set. Meanwhile, my dad would tell me it's okay to cry, right? But that was I think that was sound advice, but I would never see him cry. So then it didn't feel right, right? And then on top of that, man, like sadness, I don't know if about you guys, but when I would be sad, I'd be made fun of, right? I would be made fun of. So that was definitely not a safe emotion for me to process in front of people. I'd have to do that by myself, in the bathroom, looking in the mirror, ugly crying, but it was not safe because even though like I can think of uncles and stuff and older cousins that would make fun when I'd be sad, and they meant it to try to cheer me up. But what ended up happening was it became something that I just totally threw out the window. Like nobody's going to see me like this because I'm not going to be ridiculed for feeling this. I'm not going to be shamed for feeling this, right? I'm just going to take all of that. And then to what your earlier point, Stephen, and I'm going to turn that into rage, right? Because it's not going to be processed. So it's going to turn into something else, right? So unsafe for me was always sadness, man. And man, I think about today, right? I'm able to be sad today and process today, right? And the relief that comes out of it, man, I think about all of those years of torment that I put myself through by being unwilling because it didn't feel like a safe zone, right? And again, to the person out there who might be listening to this, man, it is okay to be sad too. That is a safe space. There's actually scientific evidence to prove like a good cry, like that's a real thing. There's relief in that.
Yeah.
There's relief in that. Some of that pressure you're feeling, man, let it out. Yeah. Let it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get some love to some of these comments while we have a little bit more time left in the show. Travis said, I agree with that. I could be upset with losing the game, but I was only allowed to be upset for that night. I had to get up and work the next day. I meant sports events, not video games. Yep.
Now chime in on that comment real quick.
Which one?
What Travis just said about, being put in or given a time to have those feelings. It could be problematic, just like when we put a timeline on when somebody should forgive and telling them to get over it. How you process those losses is up to you. What we hopefully learn from those things is learning to be an ally to the people who are feeling those emotions for losing the game and telling them, suck it up, get back on the field, and keep working at it. I want to ask, how can I help you get over this feeling of loss? You don't like it, right? So what can we do to change the outcome of the game the next time so that when you do lose, you know how to accept your role in the loss, or you can work on things to help you be victorious because you know you don't like the feeling of sadness and feeling the loss, and not rushing people into happiness. Well, I ain't happy. I'm still soaking about that game 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when the Giants keep losing over and over and over. I'm a Falcons fan, bro. So no shade.
That was good.
I'm going to cancel you. Oh my goodness! It's too funny. Travis said he'll have a good cry to a great movie. I wish he was there. He wasn't around some of the early shows. We talked about the movies that we were allowed to cry to. I think I mentioned the Avengers. It was too funny. I wish you was there for that one, Travis. If you, I don't know who we've been talking to with this comment. I don't know who he's talking about, but it could be Stu. I don't know if it's me. I don't know who it is, but yeah, that this part of the Avengers. I challenge y'all in that. In fact, I'm gonna go back and find the episode, but I know I put it in the title to make sure I wouldn't forget it. If you could sit here and say that you watched that whole, especially the end game one, if you could say you watched that and nothing happened, you a better man than me. You get the truth. Cause that thing, man, there's some sad parts and everything. Don't tell me you didn't feel something didn't well up. So that might be a good cry movie. I don't know what it is. What's a good cry movie for you guys? Because I'm not sure I know what that is. And don't say The Notebook because I ain't down with you. So,
man, Higher Learning.
Who?
Higher Learning was a cry movie for me.
I didn't fall out. Not on that movie.
I cried at the end of Higher Learning when they got shot.
Yeah.
Omar Epps and Tyra Banks, and they were on that track. And old boy went up in the tower and started shooting. Bro, I cried. I mean, I felt that loss because I understood the hate behind the action, and it just tore me up.
Brother.
Man, I'm gonna say Hardball. Y'all remember Hardball? Keanu Reeves, man.
Yeah.
We going to the ship, right? Yeah, when the little boy got shot. Every time, man. I know it's coming, and my heart sinks every time, man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Y'all getting some good ones, man. I said to your bitch. Now I feel bad. But Travis said Man on Fire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I can hear that girl saying crazy. Oh wow! And Coach Cheese getting shot. That wasn't a good situation.
Cooley High.
That was a Kleenex moment as well. But I don't know about.
Yeah, so it was bad.
What y'all describing is like Travis said a good cry. Here's his actual comment. I'm gonna spend time on this because it's fun. Man, he said, "I love having a good cry to a great." I'm like, okay, what the movies y'all just named? You see the name his yet? Y'all get a good cry off those movies?
Boys in the Hood.
Boys, man, you took mine, man.
Oh,
Boys in the Hood.
It's a good cry.
Wow. Okay. All right.
You took mine, man.
Honestly, man,
we're in alignment. That's all.
It could be long-term emotional damage, but I can't think of the movies, man. When y'all say it, I'm like, oh yeah. I can't think of it by myself. So I can't come up with one.
We got you though. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I can't think of one. But I thought about the Avengers because the end game with Iron Man. You got me that. No, Gamora down. Oh, I felt that. Father killing his own daughter.
Yeah.
He got me. But
Mississippi Burning will get you too.
Man.
Way back. Watch race-related movies. It hits me wrong. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun. Man, maybe we should just keep us going in the comment section under the episode because this is like some good movie ideas. I'm like, this is really good.
Yeah.
Just keep that going on Facebook. That'd be good. All right. So, any other closing thoughts, man? Beside that, if not, we'll go ahead and and get out of here, man, and close out. Any other thoughts about great topic tonight and great responses from you guys or commenters in the comment section? Travis, Lee, thank you guys for jumping in here and offering some great comments, man. Definitely appreciate it. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, my closing thoughts would be, in addition to encouraging guys to stay under the care of a doctor, is the importance of sleep. And wow. I wasn't aware that lack of sleep contributes to so many other health conditions. And thankfully, because I was under the care of a doctor, I received a proper diagnosis. I got a CPAP machine that measures and scores how I sleep throughout the night. It has changed my life, literally, because I get quality sleep every night because I'm not depriving myself of oxygen, being diagnosed with sleep apnea. And sleep apnea is one of those undiagnosed things that a lot of us have. And just getting the proper treatment and getting the proper rest, it could be a game changer. So that's what I would leave off, with.
Thank you, sir. That's good stuff. Anybody else, real quick?
Yeah, man.
I would say, go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, brother.
I would say, as we're talking about mental health, man, just don't pretend that things don't affect you, man, and make sure you don't, although we carry a lot as men, whatever you do, don't lose yourself in that process, man.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, man. I'm just like, my closing thought is this: we're trichotomy beings. Oftentimes we hit the gym to work out the body, right? We can get in a book to get that head knowledge, right? But find something that's going to feed your spirit, man. Like, find something that's going to feed your spirit. Oftentimes we as men, I will say as people, because I know women do this as well. As people are so focused on pouring out and into other people, we don't go back to the source to get our cup refilled, right? Yeah. And I think that contributes a lot to poorly processed emotion.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir. Last comment for the night. Thank you, Travis, for all the contributions tonight. You'll be seeing him around here a lot more. We're excited about that. He said, awesome show. Thank you all for sharing. Love you all. Thank you, sir. And I love you guys. Fantastic work. I'm going to go over to Facebook where the show is, drop some ideas for some movies. Y'all are free to join me.